This training video, Create a New PRQ in BPERM, was developed by Kleingo for Bureau of Indian Affairs. In this session, we will learn the steps necessary to create a new PRQ in BPERM. Search for and select multiple DM work orders to be included in a new PRQ. Enter the mandatory information required in a PRQ and save your new PRQ. We're going to now talk about creating project requirements or PRQs in BPERM. First, let's talk about what PRQs are and how they're used in BPERM. PRQs can be thought of as a preliminary project, basically useful during the scoping and refining of the PRQs before they're approved and converted into a project. A PRQ is a bundle of DM work orders. It can be a single work order. Typically, it's going to be multiple work orders. Work orders can be added to a PRQ. They can be removed from a PRQ. But if you remove existing work orders from a PRQ, you still have to have at least one work order in that PRQ, or it really isn't a PRQ. And they're DM work orders, so greater than $2,500 in value, associated with the same location or the same site. PRQs can have multiple different locations as long as they're within the same site. PRQs are used to determine the scope of work for the project, any associated costs with it, and to define the priorities, because really the whole concept of PRQs and projects is for the high priority things that you need to get done and the ability to lump them together for the related work orders so that they aren't done piecemeal. Keep in mind that PRQs are the highest priority, and those are the ones that get turned into projects based on the ranking. Here's an example of two work orders that it would make sense combining into a project. They both deal with door replacement. They're both for the same site, for the same location, and both between $2,500 and $250,000. So an MINR project would make sense here. Here's an example of two DM work orders that would qualify for combination into a water and sewer FINR PRQ for a project. The two are both over $250,000. They're for the same site, for the same location, and they're related enough water and sewer repair replacement. Here's an example of two DM work orders that would qualify for inclusion as a QINR. They deal specifically with quarters. They're for the same site, same location, and they're related. It's the replacement of two different doors combined under $250,000 but over $2,500. And it would just make sense to combine those into a single project. To create a new PRQ in BPERM, you click on the PRQ menu immediately to the right of the work orders menu that we looked at earlier. From that drop-down, depending on what permissions you have, the drop-down list is going to have more things or less things depending on what your permissions are. But if you're permitted to create PRQs, you click on the PRQ menu, and from the drop-down, you choose Create PRQ. Once you've selected Create PRQ from the PRQ menu, the Create PRQs search box will display. This is similar to this search box that you saw earlier for searching for work orders. In fact, what you're going to be doing here is basically defining the same type of a search to find work orders that you can include in a PRQ. A tip here is to select a single site to begin with to get started. That's going to ensure that when you refine your search results, you're going to see only eligible work orders that could be combined into a PRQ. Once you've defined your search criteria and click the search button, the results will be displayed in a table similar to what we saw earlier. From this list, you'll be able to click on the work order number to view the work order in details if you need to determine whether or not it is a work order that qualifies to be included in your PRQ. You can select multiple work orders from this list by clicking on the work order. That will highlight it in yellow. If you click on another work order, that will highlight that one in yellow as well. And any work orders that are highlighted in yellow, when you click on them again, it will basically deselect those and they will no longer show yellow. At some point, once you've got the work orders selected that you want included in the PRQ, those would be highlighted in yellow, and then you can create the PRQ from that result. Here you see two work orders from the same location that have been selected. So basically, these two work orders are for the same building or the same structure, and logically, if the criteria or those types of work in that DM work order to be completed can be combined into a project, this is how you would select them. Each work order in the table view has a defined cost estimate with that work order. Remember, we're dealing with DM work orders, so they're above $2,500 in value and can go up to, in some cases, millions of dollars in value. Each of these work orders, as you select them, the light blue bar across the top will add the value of that work order to the selection. So if you select two work orders, one that's $5,000 and another that's $2,000, at the top it will show you the sum of those two as $7,000. That's what you're seeing here. The value of those two work orders that are selected and highlighted yellow are summed at the top. Once you've identified the work orders that you want to combine into a PRQ, and you've selected those from the list, package unit, heating and cooling. So these two that deal with heating and cooling, I want to include. Now, if I look, both of those are 802. Here's another one for replacing a furnace. I could probably say, well, that deals with heating and cooling as well, and I could include that. But you'll notice I'm only selecting these two currently. They're both co-apper status, so that's fine. You'll see at the top, as I've added those two, it combined. Now, notice if I deselect these two and start over, so I click on, currently I have nothing selected. It's combined estimated cost of 0. When I click on the first one, replace the heating unit, you'll see that value just jumped to $4,641. And when I find replace the evaporative cooler one and select that, the combined cost of those two is now $15,266. So those are the two I want to include in my PRQ. What I'm going to do now that both of those are selected and highlighted, I'm going to click the New PRQ button. That takes me into the Create New PRQ wizard. And the first thing I'm going to do is fill in the information at the top. Now I can do it one of two ways. I can select each thing individually from down here with each work order, or if what I'm going to select applies to all of the work orders in this, I can put a check mark in Select All and select those values across the top. So for instance, if I say Select All and I say, well, this FABA, this is a facility improvement and repair. When I select that, A1114, my selection for my FABPs over here will all be subcategories of A1114. Now, keep in mind, if I didn't select anything here, I couldn't go over and select because there's no subcategories of nothing. So I have to select the FABA first, then select the FABP. So I'm going to go ahead and choose A1114, and then the subcategory I'm going to choose is going to be facility replacement and repair major. I'm going to say this is not quite that, so I'm going to just say facility replacement and repair. Now, it would be imperative to you when you're creating this to know what FABA and what FABP you need to select there. If you're not sure at the site level, then you probably need to talk to the region manager and get information from them. So once I've selected those two in the select all portion at the top, notice these don't get filled in yet until I click the apply button. And if I needed to, I could, so let's say you had 10 different ones here and 9 of them all pertain to one FABA and FABP combination. The 10th one didn't. Rather than having to select all 10 of them separately, you could do the apply all at the top for all of them and then go back down below and change just for the one that didn't follow that selection criteria for the FABA and FABP. Save yourself a little bit of time that way. Or you could manually select for each work order what the FABA and the FABP was for each one if they weren't going to be the same for all of them. Additionally, there's the question of extends useful life. This is a drop-down yes or no. You would need to know that. I don't know the exact criteria for what is yes and what would be no for extends life. I know one example that I've run across and I'm sure of is if it's asbestos removal or remediation for asbestos contamination, does that extend the useful life of a facility or of a building? The answer is yes. So something like that would be a definite yes. Whether the replacement of a package unit heating and cooling would probably not. It wouldn't extend the useful life of the building. It would extend the useful life of the cooling unit, but not of the building typically. So we're just going to say no on both of these. And then project name, I'm going to just put in a descriptive name. I'm going to say heating and cooling replacement. Or structure 802. Project type here is going to be improvement and repair. Project manager, I'm going to leave it at that default, but you'll notice that I have several different project managers that I could select from. So if I knew which project manager in particular was going to handle this, I could select them if I had them appearing in the dropdown. I'm going to just leave the default Navajo. The planned fiscal year 2019, that's fine. And I'm going to leave the description and the need benefit as it is. Now that I've got all of that information, I'm going to click Save. And it'll pause for a moment while it's saving. And once it's completed, I get the message at the top saying that new PRQ has been saved. Here's the PRQ number. And that's a live link. So I could click on that to go to the PRQ details, but I just want to show you before I do that, if I go to my home screen, my home page, and go down to my PRQs here, you'll see that that has been added and it's in a state of draft right now. And I can click the link to get to it there, or I could go back if I wasn't sure, I could go back to my PRQs, browse, enter whatever search criteria to find it as well. In this session, you learn the steps necessary to create a new PRQ in BPERM, how to search for and select multiple DM work orders to be included in a new PRQ, how to enter the mandatory information required in the PRQ, and how to save your new PRQ. This concludes this video. Thank you for watching.